There are days when the world feels like a great chessboard, with kings and pawns shifting restlessly under unseen hands, and today, my friends, is precisely one of those days. While the sun rose over a morning Vatican, it was the tremors elsewhere, political, military, and literal, that truly shaped the pulse of our global village. Picture the scene in Rome, where powerful men in dark suits crossed paths, not merely to pay respects to a pontiff whose voice had carried across the decades, but to whisper behind closed doors about the state of a world edging once again towards chaos. President Trump, never one to waste an opportunity where history meets headlines, found himself face-to-face with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. Imagine the tension, the careful smiles, the unspoken understanding of two leaders shaped by very different wars. Trump, ever the showman, spoke boldly after the meeting, lambasting Putin's recent brutality. It was a rare moment of clarity in a stormy rhetoric history, and yet it left many wondering, is this a pivot point or simply a well-rehearsed performance? Far from the colonnades of Rome, tensions rise where the dust of ancient empires still clings to the air. In the bitter valleys between India and Pakistan, old grudges have been rekindled by new blood. A brutal attack on innocent tourists shattered not only lives but also the fragile veneer of peace that has so tenuously lingered between these two nuclear neighbors. Artillery exchanges along the line of control, stern proclamations from both Delhi and Islamabad. It feels eerily like watching old warriors draw their swords once again, even as the world holds its breath, hoping not to see the unspeakable unfold. And if you tilt your ears westward towards the deserts where ancient caravans once traced the lines of survival, you would hear a different kind of negotiation unfolding. In the understated opulence of Muscat, American and Iranian experts sat across long tables, not with the fervor of diplomats in a hurry, but with the slow, deliberate caution of surgeons cutting around a live nerve. Their talks, focusing on Iran's advancing nuclear capabilities, were described by some as constructive, a word that in diplomatic terms often means little has changed, but no one wants to admit failure. Yet for those of us watching closely, even a sliver of dialogue is a melody against the growing drumbeat of confrontation. Meanwhile, in the cold strategic chambers of Europe, a silent rebellion brews within the NATO alliance. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Finland have decided to abandon the Ottawa Treaty, which for decades symbolized humanity's collective attempt to put aside one of war's cruelest tools, the landmine. Their justification is chillingly pragmatic: fear. Fear of a Russia they no longer trust to remain behind the old lines. Fear that in the next conflict, treaties signed in hope will offer no shield. Yet it must be asked, at what cost do we trade principle for protection? Some voices, wiser and perhaps more seasoned in the arts of peace, warn that such moves may open wounds that never truly heal. Yet the cruelty of nature reminded us that no human conflict can rival the fury of the earth itself. In Myanmar, a savage earthquake ripped through towns and villages, leaving sorrow in its wake. Over 3,000 lives lost in the blink of an eye, and countless others forever changed. Aid is pouring in from the corners of the world: Italy, Japan, Pakistan, even the Netherlands, each offering what comfort and hope they can against a disaster so vast that words feel almost inadequate. Not all the tremors today were of earth or politics, however. In Vancouver, a city often praised for its serene beauty and open-hearted festivals, a tragedy unfolded during the Lapu Lapu celebration. A car, a moment of madness or mechanical failure, the investigation is still unfolding. Plowed into a crowd, transforming joy into chaos in the blink of an eye. It's a brutal reminder that even in the moments where humanity comes together to celebrate, darkness can sometimes find a way to intrude. Beyond these immediate crises, quieter shifts stir the landscape of global affairs. Hamas, surprisingly, has extended an offer, a 5-year ceasefire, contingent on a complex series of concessions from Israel. It's a gesture that, depending on where one stands, could either be seen as a crack in the walls of hostility or merely a pause before the next inevitable storm. Meanwhile, somewhere in the steamy jungles and buzzing cities of Cambodia, an unsung triumph is emerging. The country, long associated with hardship and rebuilding, stands on the brink of being certified malaria-free. It's a victory not of weapons or diplomacy, but of patience, science, and relentless perseverance. A reminder that humanity's greatest battles are often fought not on battlefields, but in laboratories, clinics, and the silent everyday acts of people refusing to give up. And in the shadowy shipyards of North Korea, a different kind of progress steams quietly into the waters. A new warship, sleek and menacing, equipped with drones controlled by artificial intelligence, has been unveiled. The implications ripple far beyond the Korean Peninsula. We are entering an era where machines may not only assist in war, but perhaps one day choose their own targets. The line between science fiction and geopolitical strategy grows ever thinner. Each of these stories threads together into a tapestry of a world on the edge, driven by hope, shadowed by fear, propelled by ambition. Some victories shine brightly, some tragedies weigh heavily, but all demand our attention. Because in this interconnected world, the tremor in one corner inevitably reaches the other. If you enjoyed this journey through today's Pulse of Our Planet, I invite you to like, comment, and of course subscribe to Green Ground. For more details on everything we've explored together today, have a look at the description below, or if you're curious for more, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. Let's keep this conversation alive.